welcome to this week's edition of the Hogs Happy Hour here on Four Star Sports Media Network. Thanks for all of you that are already joining in. If you want to, leave a comment, and we will get to it on the show today. We're going to talk about the early signing period and the transfer portal and the swings and misses that Arkansas has had with that. We will also talk about the basketball game tonight and talk about the game last week. And our friend Dave Shumate of Mach 10 Sports will be joining us later to talk all things SEC. So if you're watching on Facebook, give us a like, share this if possible. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to Four Star Sports Media Network. And if you're watching on Twitter, just be sure to retweet it and like it up. Okay, the likes help us more than you know. Also, if you're on Facebook, send us some stars our way. We really appreciate those. So, fellows, how's it going?
It's going good.
It's going good, man. I gotta get like more official. I've got to get like a headset. I've got to get a real nice mic like you've got there, Blake.
It's the
And I-
overachiever.
And I've got to get a hat like yours.
Yeah. All right. So before we get to the Razorback talk, I'm in the Christmas spirit. So I'll start with Ashton. Ashton, what is your all-time favorite Christmas movie?
Oh my dude, Christmas Vacation. Who doesn't love some Clark and Uncle Eddie?
Yeah. All right, Jason, what's yours?
I'm gonna go with Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Yes.
I enjoy
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. Papa Shisho. Yes. Santa Claus. Yes, Santa Claus. Santa Claus. I agree.
It's Italian.
So we'll start with the early signing period. Was yesterday, I believe. This week's kind of running together, but I think it was yesterday, right, Ashton?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, was it yesterday? Or was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah,
Heck, I can't even remember.
Yeah,
I think it was
experts we
Tuesday.
are. But,
Tuesday.
So I'm just going to talk about the main, kind of the main signees. We signed. Well, our rank right now is the 27th in the nation. There were 16 that signed the letter of intent yesterday. The top player, according to 247 Sports, was Charleston Collins out of Little Rock Mills. He's a 4-star defensive lineman. And then we got Selman Bridges. He's a cornerback out of Temple, Texas. He's a 4-star. He had offers from Texas and Bama and TCU, so it's good to get him. Another player that was really good to get was Ashton Bethel Roman out of Missouri City, Texas. He's a 4-star wide receiver. Now, he was one we was in a battle with Texas A&M, so it was good to get that. And then we signed 4-star quarterback KJ Jackson out of Montgomery, Alabama, 6'3", 215. So I'm sure Bobby Petrino is excited to get him. So, what's your thoughts on the class, Ashton?
It's mixed for me. I know that I'm still have a sour taste in my mouth from Crutchfield going to Missouri, losing your top end state talent to the likes of Eli Drinkwitz makes me want to puke. And I still think it's funny that Charleston Collins, whenever the information came out that Charleston Collins was going to Ole Miss, and I don't know if he tweeted out like someone knows something that I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny. So it was good to get him. And then overall, I think the class, all things considered, could have been a lot worse. I'm not like super impressed with the class. There's definitely some talent there, but it could have been a lot worse. Hopefully we pick up a little bit more steam like we did right there at the very end for the transfer portal. Hopefully we can pick that back up.
All right, Jace, I'm going to pose a question to you. How important is it for the University of Arkansas to get the top kids in Arkansas to come to sign with Arkansas? Is it important, or should we focus our attention to Texas, Florida, Louisiana, states like that, Georgia?
To me, honestly, I'd say we need to focus on other states. I mean, honestly, in this day and age, though, kids do not stay at a school for very long before they move on to another school. Who's to say that the Crutchfield's not going to come back or end up at Arkansas before his career is over?
Yeah, yeah, Jason does make a good point. Just because a kid does go, maybe he's an in-state talent, he goes somewhere else, doesn't necessarily always mean in today's age that that kid stays at that school for 4 to 5 years. In fact, the majority of kids aren't staying anywhere for 4 to 5 years, anywhere.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Very
mean,
true.
outside a few schools in Arkansas, how competitive is the high school sports? Arkansas or football here in Arkansas?
I mean, it's it's competitive, but the you're gonna have two or three top talent guys, and then the rest are just kind of average.
And honestly, you got to think the kid's 18 years old. For majority of his life, Arkansas has been mediocre or worse throughout his whole life. What makes him want to stay in Arkansas and go there?
Yeah, yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ashton, let's talk about Crutchfield real quick. He's kind of the one we kind of missed on. He committed to us early, then decommitted right before the Florida game, I believe.
Yeah.
And he opened up his recruitment, and I know Bobby Petrino, Pittman, and Guyton, they actually came to Pine Bluff visit with him. It's down to Missouri and Arkansas, and Missouri won out. They actually got two guys from Pine Bluff, actually. So,
Yeah, I think they got, was he like running back,
uh, but
defensive back?
yeah, or defensive line. Is it defensive lineman? I don't
I
know.
can't remember. I know that I thought Missouri, I think, got 3 kids out of Arkansas. They got Brian Huff out of Valley View. They got Crutchfield, and they did get another one out of Pine Bluff. I was kind of shocked. So I know that when Petrino was hired, they went down there and visited him, and I had a good feeling that he would end up coming to the Razorbacks. What happened in the end? I can't help but think there's some money's attached to this. I mean, am I too far out of line saying that? I don't think I am.
No,
Well,
I
no.
mean,
I mean, you got to think. Pine Bluff's not a very rich part of the state. Any sort of money that child can get, for football, he's probably going to take it.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Um,
that's for sure.
I know that him and Collins out of what is it? What school is that? Where he's playing at? Charleston Collins.
Talking
Where
about
was he playing? Um,
who Charleston Collins,
yeah. Gosh,
Mills,
see, my mind. I coached against him.
Little Rock Mills.
Little Rock Mills, right? Or Mills Academy. I know they're cousins, I believe.
Yeah,
So I was kind of surprised to see one come to Arkansas and the other not come to Arkansas. That was kind of surprising to me. Most kids stay where family is, and but like Jason said, in the long run, it doesn't necessarily mean that he won't be a Razorback. It doesn't necessarily mean he'll be a Razorback. He may not be a Tiger. He could be
yeah,
something else. I think
yeah,
I do think he's a difference maker. There were some red flags with me though with him. I would have loved for him to be a Razorback. So what I'm about to say is not me hating on the kid, but there was some issues, on field issues, in Pine Bluff. There was a big brawl that took place, and I believe he was right in the middle of it.
yeah.
And is he a prima donna? I don't know. I don't get me saying things that I don't know. But
Yeah.
did we dodge a bullet, or did we really need this kid? I guess we'll see in the long run, a year or two from now, where he stands. I hope he has a successful career. By the way, I just want to make sure that's stated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to Coach Drinkwitz. He is making this battle line rivalry an
Oh
actual
gosh.
rivalry. He is. I don't know if you know, but there's billboards in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, with Crutchfield and the other Pine Bluff Zebra that committed to the Missouri Tigers. So he is,
Well,
and
I mean,
and the stuff he tweets out is, I mean, he's making it, a true rival.
when he beats us so bad every year, more
Yep,
power to him. He kind of deserves to do it.
yep, yep. So, Just one surprise from this class was a kid. I think we knew we were going to miss out on Crutchfield, and we went and got a kid
Out
um,
of New
from
Orleans.
Louisiana. Yeah. Trying to find.
I believe his name is Cross.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
he's
I think
a
so.
speedy receiver.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cross Johnson from Holy
yeah, Cross.
Cross. So he's
He's
listed as
like
a 3-star.
5'9", little
Yeah,
little fella, probably plays
sh-
slot.
he's a he's a speedster. So apparently Bobby Petrino really liked him. So once we found out we were missing out on Crutchfield, we kind of went to him. So,
Yeah,
but
I'm kind of curious to see what we do. I think we are missing an explosive receiver. I don't think we had. I think we had an explosive tight ends, but I don't think we have an explosive receiver.
yeah,
And I'd like to see us find a way to get an explosive receiver, perhaps in the portal.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
there's
That's
one
what
name in particular.
yeah. That's what Pittman was saying they're not done. If I kind of heard it correctly, they got about 8 more scholarships too that they can hand out.
Yeah, I think I read today they're at 77 and they want to be at 85.
Yeah. So he said they're probably gonna get a few more linemen, which honestly, this transfer class with the linemen is kind of sneaky good.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Blackstock and guys from Tennessee coming over.
Addison Nichols,
Yeah,
I think it's Francisco Carmona out of San
mm-hmm,
Jose State.
yeah. So
So
it's
yeah, I think it's a sneaky good little transfer class as far as linemen go so
yeah.
far.
Yeah, but I just want to talk about kind of, I kind of said at the beginning, swing and a miss on these portal guys.
Yeah.
Especially, last week, Kobe Savage, it was all, he wasn't crystal balled to Arkansas. It's kind of a prediction, but he ended up going to, was it Oregon or
I don't know if he's actually.
Washington?
I was checking. I think Oregon was his crystal ball, but I don't think he's actually committed to them yet. I could be
Okay.
wrong.
Yeah. So, I think I'm just going to throw it out there. I think the problem is our NIL Edge program is 2 years too late. You see what Ole Miss is doing. They're bringing in guys left and
Yeah.
right from SEC schools. So,
Yeah.
we're just kind of behind the times. I know Ashton and I have talked about this. We all love Sam Pittman, but he's not like a guy that's going to hype you up, so to speak.
Yeah. I'm afraid that we're behind the eight ball as far as other schools around us in the SEC, especially, and then there were other schools. I think whether they were doing it legally or illegally, they had definitely something going on. They know how to reach these recruits, and Arkansas. I think they said, hey, we got a renewed commitment to NIL, and we go out and here are the names that we wanted to get, and I think we had really truly one of those names that we really needed, that we really needed. We got. And even then, I was worried that we would not get him, and that was the linebacker out of Georgia.
Yeah, that would be sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
the other one I'd like to see out of Georgia is Nyland Green, the corner. Uh, but we've got to find going forward. Okay, going forward, we've got to find a more effective way to promote the University of Arkansas. I don't, or to get the fan base. If we're going to have fan base donating money, right, Blake? If you're going to do this, you got to offer something to your fan base. So
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what to do as far as the university. They got to have a marketing team somehow. Get Arkansas a brand name out there for us to draw people here.
Yeah. It's a Christmas season, so you wonder if some people will be asking for a refund on their money that they've donated, because there's a few players to show for it, but you know, for them to say, "Hey, give us your money, and we'll kind of pay players," and it's kind of, we're not getting,
Yeah.
we get guys to campus, but they're not coming to Arkansas. That's what they always said. They always said with Arkansas, if you get them to campus, you can probably get them on the team because they fall in love with Fayetteville. But with NIL, that's not been the case.
Yeah, and it just hasn't been so far. I don't know.
Yeah, but so last thing on transfer portal is KJ did officially enter the transfer portal. We talked about it last week, how we kind of guessed that's where he would end up. So he has ended up there. Trying to think of any other players from Arkansas. So,
Well, we did have a baseball player.
Oh,
Play football.
Yeah, Austin Ledbetter decided to go back into football. I think he was a really good high school athlete. I think he's out of Bryant, actually.
Yes, he's out of your neck of the woods.
Yeah, and he was a pretty good little football player. I think he played receiver, actually, at Bryant, and he was a good baseball player. Also for Bryant. I think it was Bryant at least. So he's decided to go back into football. He's leaving his baseball career behind and pursuing football. So hopefully, maybe he brings something to the table we weren't expecting.
Yeah, well, to excite Arkansas fans, people online have said they remind him of Tyler Wilson. So, you know how Tyler Wilson was in the Petrino offense.
So is Ledbetter going to be a quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so we'll put a bow on the early signing day transfer portal. All right, we're going to welcome in a good friend of the show, Dave Shumate from Mach 10 Sports. There we go.
What's up, fellas? Always nice to join y'all. How y'all doing today? Sorry I missed last week.
No, you're good. Now, before they ask you all the burning questions, I got one. All right. What's your favorite Christmas movie of all time?
Oh, man. Do you know it's an under the radar one I like? It's actually on in my in-laws' room living room right now. It's Four Christmases, the one with Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn, yeah.
They have to go to each other's in-laws. They're supposed to go to some tropical. They go to some tropical vacation, and then they have to go to each other's in-laws or at different houses. I forget what it is, but it's always a classic. I feel like pretty not dry sense of humor movie, but I think Vince Vaughn's hilarious. So I'd probably go that. I mean, Christmas Vacation, but I'd probably have to go Four Christmases. What about y'all?
Well, we got an honorable mention for Christmas Vacation, and I don't blame them because Christmas Vacation is a solid choice because it's my choice.
Yes,
it's my choice,
Ashton's Christmas Vacation. Jason and I, we're brothers. So
you can't go if you pick Christmas Vacation. You can't go wrong. We'll say that.
Yes, correct. Now Jason and I both said the Santa Claus, the Tim Allen. It's a classic.
That's a good one too. So the one I've never been a fan of, and this may give me the one the way that I've never been a fan of that a lot of people are is Elf.
Well, Ashton's the head elf here, so
yeah, Jason, not Jason, Dave. I called him Jason, your brother. Dave, I'm the head elf. Okay, I'm just a part-time teacher. I deliver presents on the side, man. Come on. No, actually, Dave, I had to dress up as an elf at our school the other day, and the kids absolutely love it. Now, me, I look like an absolute idiot, but whatever, the kids love it, so I do it.
All right, Ashton.
Yes.
You can start off the sports talk. The sports talk.
Sports talk. Sorry. It's been interesting being a Razorback fan the last few months. Okay. So
yeah, it's been working as teachers in December is woo. It is, it's what's the saying? We're building our airplane as we're flying it. That's kind of how it feels. It's a whirlwind.
Blake, how long y'all been on? When do y'all go back to school?
January the 4th.
Yeah, ours is the
January 4th.
Students come back to 3rd, so teachers go back to 2nd. So
4th's not bad. At least, y'all go back to 2nd. The teachers.
Yeah.
Jeez, they should be arrested for that. It's the day after the national championship game. Who goes back to work the 2nd?
Well, at least the students won't be there. It's just
that's true.
Chill out.
I don't know what they're doing in Southeast Arkansas, but they ain't doing it right. I'll tell you that,
man.
But we did get out early. So when was
that?
School, we got out last Friday. You know.
Oh, all right. Well, so you've been out really since the 13th or 14th, so that's not too bad. A little give and take there, but yeah, still, I think criminally, someone should be. They should meet on that on the third, about the third, or bringing back the second for teachers. That's ridiculous.
I know, but it is, as I say, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Right.
All right. So, signing day, transfer portal. It's kind of the big news right now. So, Ashton, you want to start it off?
Yeah, I don't even remember what my question was. I think it had something.
Oh, come on.
I think it was what was the biggest surprise in the transfer portal as far as commitments go? What was something that kind of surprised you?
Biggest surprise out of the transfer portal. I mean, obviously you got to bring up Ole Miss initially, but I think that's a little bit of the layup. I think everybody that keeps up with recruiting kind of figures what Ole Miss has done. Like I said, with maybe we'll get to them in a little bit, but with Tyler Barron, Princely Umamalayan, or Princely U. Sometimes I struggle to pronounce that one. I think they're going to get Walter Nolan. It sounds like they got Juice Wells. So I think obviously Ole Miss you got to bring up. And then under the radar, I think is a big get for both Missouri and Kentucky. Missouri getting the Caden Green offensive lineman, the transfer from Oklahoma. I think that helps. Obviously replacing a pretty solid, helping replace some guys up front on a pretty solid offensive line for Missouri this year. And then I think another team that used to be in the SEC East, I guess we'll say now, is Kentucky with getting the Georgia linebacker transfer Demas Johnson. I mean, he used to make all the calls at the line of scrimmage for Georgia. I think they missed him a lot in that SEC championship game with him being out and Georgia having to play the true freshman like C.J. Allen. I think Alabama had some success on the ground. So I think it's a big get for Kentucky. Probably one of their bigger gets outside of some of these quarterbacks like Will Levis or Devin Leary out of the portal. But defensively, I think that's a very impressive get for the Wildcats.
You know, I was kind of surprised. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be surprised. I was kind of surprised to see Dillon Gabriel leave Oklahoma. I thought he was comfortable in that system. And I thought, considering what's going on over there at Oregon right now, for him to go out to Oregon didn't really, in my mind, make a whole lot of sense as far as the realignment of conferences go. And for him to be in the SEC for Oklahoma, I think what we saw, we talked about this last time, Florida State not getting in, and then an SEC team getting in, it would have made, in my mind, it would have made more sense for a kid. If you're wanting to play for a national championship, you stay in the SEC. So that kind of surprised me. And I'm an Oklahoma fan outside of being a Razorback fan. So I saw a complete turn from Dillon Gabriel last year to the Dillon Gabriel this year.
What shocked me, and I don't know this. So I was with Dillon when I was at UCF my last year in college football. He was our quarterback. He actually got hurt, broke his collarbone last play of the game, I think, against Louisville that year. We played them. But anyways, but Dillon, from talking to some of those dudes over at Oklahoma, because they're one of our clients with the company I work for, QuickU recruiting software. Oklahoma is one of our main clients. They say the Jackson Arnold kid, and from watching his film from 2 years ago, is the dude. So it was kind of like he kind of surpassed Gabriel. They just could never really get him in. So I think it was kind of like, yeah, Dillon, good luck going to Oregon. We're okay. I think they like the Jackson Arnold kid a lot. He's going to have a lot of expectation, a lot of stuff put on his shoulder heading into 2024, first year in the SEC. I think Dillon Gabriel probably, since that kid may have been on his heels a little bit, similar to what was it, Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams. Same school in Oklahoma. I think it's something similar to that situation.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. So you have Dillon Gabriel go to Oregon. Did you not have? Was UCLA's quarterback? Did he go to Oregon as well? I could have swore UCLA.
The Devin Moore kid. Yeah, so they have both those kids locked in.
Well, that's going to be a heck of a battle, don't you think, over there at Oregon?
Well, I guess for the Moore kid, he's kind of like, at worst, I sit for a year here and then it's my job. I mean, I'm sure maybe Oregon comes in next year. This time next year, we're talking about how Oregon backfilled through the transfer portal to bring up their depth in their quarterback room. But again, maybe you mentioned a little bit with the college football playoffs. Maybe the way Jordan Travis got hurt, then playing Tate Rodemaker, then ultimately the true freshman in the ACC championship game. Maybe it makes some teams load up like, you know what, I'm not going to get left out of the playoffs. I'm going to make sure I have some guys developed here or sitting here in the pocket in the quarterback room, especially if they're transfers, because as this moment, they can't transfer again. Now, maybe it's unlimited transfers at some point they can, but maybe it's me overthinking that. That could be something. But again, I think a 12-team playoff, you're probably not as worried about that as you would be, like, unfortunately for Florida State, you were in a 14 playoff this year.
And really, I guess the last thing, it has nothing to do with portal. It has more to do with how surprised I was. So I started seeing all these names pop up in the transfer portal for Georgia, big names, good names. And then I got a little nervous when the quarterback committed to Nebraska.
Broughton Vandergriff.
Dylan Ray, is it say Rayola?
Dylan Rayola. Oh, the Rayola kid going to Nebraska. Yeah.
So I was like, well, maybe something's going on at Georgia. Well, then here goes Georgia in Georgia fashion. They just start signing left and right these kids that are just ridiculous, and then they find a way to get KJ Bolden to flip from Florida State back to Georgia. Losing all these kids, and then they just get a heck of a class over there at Georgia. I was surprised that it looked like things were not going Georgia's way, and then all of a sudden, just Georgia, the way they've been the last five years or so, is just boom. They got this phenomenal class yet again. So,
yeah. No, I think
that flip of KJ Bolden from Florida State to Georgia.
Yeah. What'd you say about KJ Bolden in Georgia?
How big was that flip from?
Oh, that was big. I mean, heck, yeah. He made that decision to go to Florida State back in the summer, if I remember right.
Yeah,
that was a big. I mean, Auburn was in the mix. It sounded like. But no, that was big for them because they had that Buford curse they always talk about. They can't ever get the big time kids out of Buford High School, the high school outside of Atlanta that they struggled with, or if they have gotten a kid, they hadn't really panned out outside of Isaac Nada, the tight end that was there for a little bit. So I think that was a thing. I mean, keeping your top kid in your state. I think it'd been kind of a rough month, I should say, for Georgia fans. Even though they shouldn't have panicked. I mean, they won 29 of their last 30, but I think they probably felt like, hey, you know what? We thought we were better than Alabama this year. I think you could maybe play that game 10 times. If both teams are healthy, Georgia maybe wins 6-7 times out of that. But that early December Saturday, they didn't. And I feel like that settled wrong in their stomachs a little bit. Georgia fans kind of a little bit of entitlement. And I think they were kind of, once you saw some of those kids, some of their better kids like Javon Dumas Johnson leaving, transferring out, guys that played meaningful snaps for them, were a part of this season in 2023. And it kind of hurt them a little bit. So like you said, keeping KJ Bolden, your top kid in your state, at a high school you traditionally in state, for whatever reason, Buford, you've struggled at, finally breaking that curse, keeping that kid in, I mean, that he could play wide receiver or safety. I think that's big for Kirby and them to kind of get that momentum back on track. But there was never anything to really be worried about, obviously.
Yeah. I was making a bigger deal than what it should be. When you're a Razorback fan and you lose a kid like that, it's huge. Georgia, you
lose a kid in the state of Arkansas, it's tough. Yeah, you want to keep every kid in. You're absolutely right.
All right, Jason, you're up, my man.
All right. Well, I'm hidden this week. My question is, do you think it's more valuable for a school to get a highly touted high school recruit, or to go mainly focus on players inside of the portal? Who's going to make the biggest difference quickly?
Quicker, obviously, probably the transfer portal kid, but I also think it depends where you're at as a program. Wouldn't y'all agree? I think it kind of depends where you're at as a program. From maybe you're coming in first year, you kind of like where you're at, some high school kids. Maybe you take just using this kid as an example, but the DJ Lagway kid from Willis, Texas, that ultimately signed with Florida, that kind of saved their day to some extent. Could have been really bad, but like maybe in your first year, you take that kid over a transfer portal kid. Just because I think it kind of sets the tone. You set the tone early in your tenure there that he's kind of going to be the face of the program. The quarterback's usually, as y'all know, always kind of the face of the team, especially a big-time kid like that's kind of taking a high school like Willis High School, I think, who only announced like maybe 2 or 3 other kids from that high school were signing to play college football that year, or after this year going to play college football in college. So I thought that was impressive. They had that much success. Says a lot about him. But I think that kid is an example. Yeah, I think you probably sign him early in your tenure. But again, if you're late in your tenure, like a Sam Pittman, Billy Napier, I mean, talking about Florida, I mean, people are fired up. They got DJ Lagway, but dude, I mean, the freshman ain't coming in and going to save you in year 4 where you really need it. At least year 3 when you really, I don't think so. I think it's kind of too late at that point. I think it just depends where you're at in your tenure. I mean, now some people may argue you need to win quick, so you need to get in the portal your first year, and some coaches may feel that way. I wouldn't, but I think it just depends where you're at. Like Sam Pittman can't afford to go count on a bunch of high school kids next year, just like Billy Napier really can. Even though they signed a solid class, they had a bunch of 6 kids flip out of the top. I think 6 top 150 kids ended up going elsewhere between Miami, Georgia, and Auburn. So I mean, no, I think if I was at the beginning of my tenure, I would go building it with the foundation in high school. I still think you have to do that. But if I was in that big money year contract year where I have to have a good season to continue at my current university, yeah, I mean you're going to have to take some risk a little bit more. I think with some portal kids, some proven kids that played at the level.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Sam Pittman is in a position right now, and Jason and Blake and I know this better than most people. He's in a put up or shut up year this year, and year 5 coming up. If a lot of people are of the opinion if he doesn't win 7 games, he's gone. I mean, we're talking if he doesn't go 6-6. However, I think I disagree with that. I think if he goes 6-6 and goes to a bowl game, he's here next year.
Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like that y'all tell me if I'm wrong as Arkansas fans. I feel like that Oklahoma State game's big to open up the year. It's kind of a tone setter.
Yes, we Blake and I talked about that. I don't know if it was last week, Blake.
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah.
So I said normally the last 5 to 10 years, and Jason has noticed it. I've noticed it. Blake's noticed it. When we play A&M has been like the tone setter for the season. If we don't do well against A&M, it seems like everything is a nosedive for the rest of the year. If we do well, we'll win 8 games. It's like guaranteed we're going to win 8 games if we beat A&M.
Yeah.
Well, I said to Blake last week, I said, Blake, we're going to play UAPB, Arkansas Pine Bluff, and probably beat the brakes off of them in week 1. We should at least. And then you're going to go to Stillwater. I think it's Stillwater, and play Oklahoma State. And if you go down there and you get beat in week 2, all Razorback fans are going to say the same thing that we said the middle of the year this year. Sam can't beat anybody worth a dang. Sam can't beat anybody.
Yeah, it's like you said. That's even before you get to conference play. It's already a negative. It's already he's a dead man walking essentially.
Yeah, and a lot of people are of the opinion that of course, I like you said, and to Jason's question about the freshman and then the transfer portal. I mean, Sam's got right now. Early on, it wasn't looking good for the portal as far as Sam goes. I told Blake, I was like, Sam has to get in the portal and he has to do really well. He cannot. We're talking about like when you're in year 1, sometimes you can get a kid and you can miss on him, right? Sam's in a position where if he gets a kid, he can't miss. He's got to have kids who can be effective tomorrow. Okay, he's got to be able to win, and so for us, if we don't win that Oklahoma State game, there's just a bad taste in our mouth, and it probably doesn't get better.
Yeah, here's the issue: is you have a former head coach,
Bobby Petrino. I think it's a must-win for him.
Yeah, who the state loves. State loves Bobby Petrino. So if you lose that Oklahoma State game, you know what's going to happen. They're going to want Sam gone and Bobby Petrino be the interim head coach. And
Bobby Petrino is going to have a lot more grace from the state of Arkansas than Sam Pittman. Bobby's been gone a long time. What everybody is remembering, and I think we need to be fair. Bobby Petrino is not the 2011 Bobby Petrino that we remember. He's not. But he's the only guy that I know of in my lifetime who has won 10 and 11 games in back-to-back years for the state of Arkansas. And that's what every Hog fan remembers is a 10-3 season, and I don't know if we were 11-2 the following season, and then that big scandal happened, and everything just nosedive, right?
Well, I think everybody remembers
Jessica Dorrell. Jessica Dorrell, she screwed it in more ways than one, but yes.
Oh man. Yeah, but the thing is if Bobby goes into Oklahoma State and he throws up 35 points on Oklahoma State and we lose that game, everybody's they're not gonna say Oh, they're going to say we scored 35 with Bobby. They're not going to say we scored 35 with Sam Pittman. They're not going to say that. They're going to say Bobby Petrino put up 35. They're not going to say
it's not going to be Sam Pittman. You're right.
So,
yeah, T-Will should have the defense rolling too.
Yeah, I mean, T-Will's good. I mean, he's really good at what he does. And I think what you saw the last two to 4 games of the season was a defense that was fed up. And they just kind of, as Trey Biddy says from Arkansas, Hawks 247, they just let go of the rope. And I believe that. They look like a team that just did not care anymore. So if you can go in and you can show. Oh, yeah, that was a culmination. That was just a coming to a head of what Arkansas season was. If you can go in and beat Oklahoma State, I don't even think that I think you're going to be given some grace. You don't even have to win your next 2 games. I think if you're sitting there at 2-2, Arkansas fans haven't given up. But if you're sitting there, if you go into week 4 and you're 1-3 or 2-2, everybody looks at the schedule and they say, well, we beat UAPB and we beat UAB, which is Alabama Birmingham. Who have we beat? That's what they're going to say. Everybody's going to say, who have we beat? The whole fan base is going to say, we've beaten nobody.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, I want Arkansas or Sam Pittman to prove to me he can beat someone. So, Oklahoma State's definitely going to be the tone setter of the season. I 100% agree with you. I'm glad somebody else outside of myself and a few others have noticed that on the schedule.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Last thing on transfer portal, well, really not transfer portal, NIL, is Jordan Seaton. I don't know. He went on Undisputed and committed to Colorado.
Yeah,
said, everybody come to Colorado. You want to play for a guy that looks like you. Yada yada. And come signing day, he does not sign with Colorado. He is taking it. He hasn't. I don't think he signed anywhere yet. I think he's going to wait. But that just kind of proves to you the power of the NIL. He was very, very committed to Colorado, and I bet some other school has thrown some cash at him. And so and just whatever these kids say, don't take it because until they sign until that fax machine starts running, then it's official.
Oh yeah. I saw he said that. That was an interesting segment with him and Undisputed with Skip Bayless and them. It looking a little bit like from reading about it earlier that it was going to be an kind of Oregon, I think, pushing late. Mm-hmm. So obviously, like you're talking about, NIL is coming in because that contradicts any statement he said previously on what was it, Undisputed. But no, I mean it's just that it's the day and age. Like I saw Hugh Freeze complaining about we have people recruiting the last 48 hours pushing hard. Now, I mean that's always kind of happened. Maybe not as up to like the 11:50 hour before midnight, but maybe closer to the actual 11th hour. Not that far past, 50 minutes past, but. Now, I think, people are coming in late with these last-minute outrageous offers, whether they're true or not. I think trying to get kids to flip, and then they'll figure out the details afterwards, and that's where things get probably murky and muddy from that standpoint down the road. There could be some resentment built up.
Yep. All right, well, last question before we get off here because the Hogs play here in a few minutes, so we're trying to
we may not want to watch it, but we're going to watch it anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about the SEC non-conference. Who has been like your biggest surprise or maybe the biggest disappointment so far in the non-conference for the basketball schedule?
Biggest surprise. I mean, Ole Miss, only undefeated team. We brought them up in football with the transfer portal. It's a great time to be a Rebel. I think they're going to come back down to earth a little bit in conference play. But again, I think the addition of Alan Flanagan, dad coming over, he's a coach with Chris Beard. We used to be, as y'all remember, he played at Auburn. For a cuff, like he was at Auburn forever. I feel like he's been in college basketball forever. But Matthew Morrell's playing good. I mean, they've gotten better each week. I remember sitting on my couch watching. They were playing at the former Tad Pad, their former Coliseum, Tad Smith Coliseum. They're playing Sam Houston State. Saw them play Detroit Mercy. Detroit Mercy misses a wide open layup to win the game at the end. But Ole Miss has gotten better each week, and they got the only sole loss to the Memphis Tigers right there. Not overall, but Memphis is 3-1 against the SEC. Beat Arkansas, Missouri, and Arkansas, Missouri, and A&M. And then they've lost to Ole Miss. It's their only loss. So Ole Miss has definitely improved. Expect him to be on the bubble at the end of the year. South Carolina, another improved team. The Michi Johnson, I think the BJ Mack, the transfer from Wofford, has been a huge addition to them. I think they come back down a little earth once conference play starts too. I mean, they could easily be undefeated. They probably should have beat Clemson on the road, and Clemson went on the road and beat Alabama the week before that. I don't think Alabama's as bad as the record is. They played the 3 straight games against Purdue, Creighton, and Arizona last night. They've had chances to win all 3. They just don't defend the ball well. But again, I don't think the SEC is a great scoring league, so they're not going to see top 3, top 10 offensive efficiency teams in a row in the SEC like they saw with these last 3 games. So I think Alabama's still a top 4, top 5 team in the SEC. Kentucky's ceiling, it was always high. I mean, they signed the number 1 high school transfer portal class, got Antonio Reeves back, Trey Mitchell from West Virginia. But, man, those guys are playing harder than I've seen them play in a while. They're busting their ass. For the last 2 years, 3 years, I think you hadn't seen a bunch of Cal teams diving on the ball for loose, really getting after it. This team plays hard, and they're just getting Aaron Bradshaw back. I think this is a legit Final Four team for John Calipari and this Kentucky team. So I'm really surprised, isn't probably the right word, surprised that you can really see it this early in the season. Like, man, they keep it going. They're really deep. And I like the ceiling. And then finally, another team I think it's not really being talked about enough. Again, not really a surprise, but Auburn. I think Auburn's pretty good this year. I like Auburn's depth. I think they got some of the best. I think they may have the best front court depth-wise, not talent-wise, but between Dylan Carwell, Jalen Williams, and then Janai Broom back there. And they throw like 10 guys at you. They're deep. If Aiden Holloway can shoot well,
Always good.
Auburn could beat anybody on a given night. Probably should have beat Baylor to start the year. Took a loss to App State. But I think Auburn, a good basketball team this year. I expect them to be a top 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. So I think the SEC 1 through 10, I don't think it's as top heavy as it was last year with a team like Alabama. But I do think it's deeper this year because every time I do my power rankings, I come back to Georgia being 10th or 11th, and you watch Georgia and you're like, are they really a 10th or 11th team in a conference? But you look at the other teams in the SEC, it's like South Carolina's playing well. Florida could get it together. I mean, I just don't feel like they've found their rotation yet. It's like Arkansas, a team like Arkansas comes in, I'm at like 7th or 8th with them, and I'm like, man, is Arkansas really a 7th or 8th? No, I feel like I put my rankings out, and Arkansas fans are harder on Arkansas than I am on them. They're like, you have them way too high at 7th or 8th. But yes, it'll be interesting with them. I think Brazil's got to get back to healthy, and then Arkansas's got to just start shooting the ball.
How many teams are in the league?
What do y'all think? What's the outlook on the Hogs as we head into conference play here?
Well, how many teams are in the league?
What did you say?
14.
There's 14. I got Arkansas at 15.
14. So you play 18. So you play what? 18 conference games?
Yeah. Okay. So I've got Arkansas slightly above Vanderbilt. Okay. No, I don't know. I haven't seen – there's just not efficiency. I don't see an efficient team. I don't see a team that plays very good defense right now. And we had heard all offseason, Dave, is we have a team that can just shoot lights out. Well, I mean, really,
yeah, you did, and it looked good early.
Yeah, but you could flip a coin right now, and you have no idea who's going to shoot the ball well. Like, there's nobody that is a guaranteed shooter on this team right now. I thought it was going to be Khalif Battle, but it hasn't been. I mean, I think he scored like 2 points the other night. It wasn't very good.
Yeah, Arkansas, y'all tell me if I'm wrong here. I think Arkansas's got to go 3-1 to open up. They don't have to. Way too early in the season. I think they need to go 3-1 in their first 4 in conference. Auburn at Georgia, at Florida, and then Texas A&M at home.
You got to win.
Talked about it last week. Arkansas's got to go 11-7 in conference play in order to have a shot at the tournament, and it's going to be tough.
That'd put Arkansas at about 19-ish wins.
Yeah,
right there. We've seen Musselman teams catch fire, but I don't see this team catching fire. I don't see it. I can be.
Yeah, I feel like Arkansas fans are down on them bad. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like I don't know. It's like y'all said, just because it's happened the last 3 years, I think people are realistic a little bit. Like, doesn't mean it's going to happen this year. It may just be this is who this team is.
See, the problem last year was it was all freshmen basically on our team. This year you got juniors and seniors, so we don't know what the problem is. Muss doesn't know what the problem is. Muss is frustrated. He's trying all different kinds of starting lineups. The lineup he put
Now,
out there Saturday was not it. I can tell you
no,
that.
see, Blake's brother was at, I don't know if it was the Duke game or the Purdue game or both.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was awesome, but in North Little Rock, when we played, who did we play? It almost beat us. Oh,
Lipscomb.
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 Yeah.
So when we almost blew it against Lipscomb, I heard that the stadium the arena just about lost. I mean, they were in shock.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to think. We were up by 20, 59-39. And Blake always tells me this is the year that Arkansas blows massive leads. So tonight, of course, I think they may have already started, but here in a minute we're going to watch them. Hopefully they can take care of business against Abilene Christian. But I am not taking anything for granted right now as a Razorback fan with basketball. And I don't think Eric Musselman is either. So we need to play good basketball. We need to win big tonight. And they need to show me that they can beat teams that are lesser than them by double digits.
Yeah, it's started. We're up 2-0 right now.
Great.
So we're winning. So, but yeah,
Let's
it's
go, Hogs.
basketball is. I don't. Each Musselman team they turn it around at a different point. It hasn't been the same point every season, and I couldn't guess on when the turnaround's going to happen because you start conference play and next week or a week and a half from now, and it's a quick turnaround to we're just not very. I'll say we're just not very good right now. Now, late February, early March, we might be a different story.
I think every team in the SEC has some holes. I don't really think there's a complete team. I mean, Alabama's really good on offense, but they're very bad on defense. Like Auburn, I think plays well defensively. They're deep. They can go cold at nights. Some nights, I think Kentucky's probably the best team right now. Honestly, in my opinion, like I think they have the best overall talent. Have some senior guys, like I said, with Reeves and Mitchell. And then I probably put Tennessee
could be good.
Now.
Tennessee could be really good, but
yeah. The team I have no clue about is Florida. Like I sometimes feel like I think I got them figured out, and then I don't.
Yeah. Last thing on Arkansas, it's going to help them. I think is Kenyon Minifield. He's now eligible to play. NCAA ruled he can play.
The Washington kid, was he Washington?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
So, and he played I think 17 minutes in his first game this past Saturday, and put up some good effort, get some good numbers, but hopefully that helps out the Hogs. So we'll see. But Dave, it's always a pleasure for you to join us. We enjoy talking to you. So we'll catch you. Might not have a show next week, but we'll see. But if not, hope you have Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Hey, let me know, guys. I'm back on. It's always
appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all having me on, guys. It's my pleasure. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
Oh no, it's always fun to chop it up with y'all, man. Good conversation. Y'all let me know when y'all want me back on. I'll be on.
All right, man. Appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
At Mach 10 Sports.
Later, guys.
Follow him.
See ya.
All right, so very quickly, because the Razorback game's on, and that's going to kind of, if you notice, we're looking down. It's probably because we're watching the game. But just real quickly, let me get this off there. All right, so we were in Little Rock, and hold on. There we go. So at the very beginning of the game, as you can tell on my screen, this is how it looked in Little Rock. Okay, the lights were very dim, and someone hit the wrong button. So someone hit the wrong button when they were doing start lineups because they have the lights where they have like shutters that go over them. Well, someone actually turned off the lights instead of hitting the button for the shutters, so they had to wait about 15 or so minutes for the lights to come back on. So. That's just another embarrassing moment for Little Rock, for Little Rock hosting the Razorback athletic event. I know when Jason and I went to the Little Rock game at War Memorial, they ran out of water. The ref's mic was not working half the time, so it's always something when you're at Simmons Bank Arena. Either something's not going to go right. Baseball, same story probably. We don't do very good in Little Rock. I don't know. But the fans, it was a sold out crowd. Fans seemed to be kind of into it. Like I said, they were kind of in shock after being up by 20, then kind of having to scrap for the win. But just kind of talk about some things you noticed, things that concern you from last Saturday's game.
Well, I don't know. Is Jason still on here?
Yeah, he's
I'm
there.
still here. Still here.
Okay, so I'll just quickly say, make it pretty quick. I was just shocked to see such lazy on-ball defense and a guy be able to get to the rim over and over and over and us not be able to stay in front of him. And that was not from one defender. That was from multiple defenders, including a guy that we all know to be a very, really good defender in Devo Davis. So that was what concerned me majorly, is we just could not stay in front of a guy, just straight line drives.
Yeah, I would say that the defensive effort was pretty poor during that game. And we especially got really lazy once we got up by 20. And Lipscomb is not a bad 3-point shooting team.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah. Most point. He said they were up by 20, and he kind of, his words were he kind of let them do what they wanted to do, like talking about his team, and so.
I bet she doesn't make that mistake again.
We're about to find out.
Yeah, I think the main problem is he doesn't know who the starters are, and I think once he figures that out, it's going to help his rotation out a little bit better. Joseph Pinion started last Saturday. I don't know if that's because it was in Central Arkansas, and Morrilton's kind of close to Central Arkansas, but I don't know. It was a starting lineup that did not produce a lot of points. Right now we're down 5-3 to Abilene Christian.
Oh no, we blew our 2-point lead.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
we blew a 2-point lead already. Like I said, may or may not have a show next week. Just holidays, it gets kind of hectic, kind of crazy, but we'll see. But if not, we will come back on the New Year's, and conference play starts for basketball. So it's roughly about 2 games a week. So we'll have lots to discuss. Sure, transfer portal will still be portaling at that point. It kind of never stops. Ashton, Jason, any final thoughts?
Blue Pig, I hope we can win by double digits this evening. So, and enjoy your holidays, guys. Appreciate y'all, you and Jason a whole lot doing this show. So enjoy your holidays. Spend some time with your families, guys.
I know, unfortunately, I got to go see Blake at some point. So.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's a sad time, ain't it? Speaking of, all right, so short story here. This hat right here, Jason makes fun of this hat because in real life, it's real dingy looking. It may look dingy on camera, but
it does look dingy.
I've had it since I was in middle school, so and I've never washed it. Probably I might have washed it a few times, but anyways, so this is my keepsake, I guess. But anyways, happy holidays, Merry Christmas from all of us here at 4-Star Sports Media, the Hogs Happy Hour, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.
Later, guys.